Hello and welcome back to the channel this week. This week's episode is about one of Fuji's best kept secrets. And you know what? This secret is in every one of these little cameras, and let's talk about it right after the break. A few years ago, a good friend of mine, Bill Fortney, told me about one of the best kept secrets of these little Fuji cameras, and that is film simulation bracketing. And I hadn't really thought about it much. I knew about it, I knew it was in there, but I never really tried it. Then he told me that he only shoots JPEGs, not raw images, and that he uses the bracketing feature to figure out the best result from that particular photograph that he took. I said, well, with this new X-T50 and this film simulation dial, wouldn't it be cool if I could find a universal film simulation recipe that works with all of these and use the bracketing feature to find the best one? So when I got this X-T50 over a year ago now, this simulation dial really made me start to think, if I had one Fujifilm recipe that would rule them all, let's say, for all of these simulations. So I could have this one Fujifilm simulation recipe in the camera, and I could turn this dial any way I wanted, and it would work for pretty much all of them. So that got me thinking, maybe I should check out Fuji X Weekly and see if they have anything. Well, he has a universal recipe 1 and a universal recipe 2, and I got thinking about it, and I said, you know what? I know that Fuji X Weekly is on the warm side with a lot of his recipes, and this one is no different, the version 1 version. So I decided to make my own, and that's what we're going to go over right now. The two universal film simulation recipes that I'm going to be using. First one is Fuji X Weekly's universal version 1, and mine is my only version universal. So as you can see, the grain effect, I've turned mine off completely because I don't like a lot of noise. Color chrome effect, I've changed that from strong to weak, and I've left color chrome effects blue also to weak. The biggest change here for me is that I'm using white balance, white priority instead of ambiance priority, because outside it makes no difference at all. It's only inside when your incandescent lights are a little bit more yellow. What happens here is that what he's done is he's made it even more yellow, which makes no sense to me. So I've changed mine to red +1 and blue -1, and his is much different from that. I've left the DR alone. The tone curve here, I've changed mine to -1 highlight and -0.5 shadow. The color, I've just knocked it down a little bit to +2 instead of +3. And the sharpness, I've taken it off completely to 0. And that's a move up instead of a move down. And the noise reduction, Richie, I don't know but he likes to turn it off basically. So I don't mind it coming out looking a little bit cleaner. It doesn't look that soft to me, so I've left it at -2. I've just moved it up a little bit. So that's what we're going to be working with. Okay, so let's take a look at these film simulation brackets with the universal recipes attached, okay? So let's take a look at the first bracket. This is classic chrome, and both of these universal recipes are applied, but the first one is straight out of camera without any adjustments made at all. So let's take a look at the first bracket. This is classic chrome, and both of these universal recipes are applied, but the first one is straight out of camera without any adjustments made at all. So here's the first one. This is straight out of the camera, classic chrome. The next one is classic chrome with the Fuji X Weekly universal recipe done. As you can see how warm it is. And this is my recipe right here, and it looks actually pretty good. So let's go to the next one, which is Nostalgic Neg. And you can see that this is the one straight out of camera, but look how yellow this Fuji X Weekly one is. It's pretty yellow. And mine looks pretty normal to me with just a little bit of a yellow tint to it. And then we're going to go to the Velvia version. And as you can see straight out of camera, it's pretty bright. It's Velvia. But look what happens when Fuji X Weekly universal recipe is attached to it. It gets really yellow. And mine, not so bad. Maybe a little bit of yellow in there. Okay, let's go to the second image here. Okay, so this is classic chrome, straight out of camera. You can see it looks pretty normal here. For classic chrome, it looks pretty normal. This is Fuji X Weekly, and you can see it's pretty yellow. This is mine, and it's not nearly as bad. Just a slight tweak of yellow. Okay, the next one we're gonna go to is Nostalgic Neg. Nostalgic Neg is kind of warm anyway, but here it is. It actually looks pretty good, like this. But look what happens when your Fuji X Weekly Universal is pretty bad, pretty yellow. And mine looks pretty good, just a little bit of yellow. And the next one, of course, is going to be Velvia. And as you can see, Velvia, it's pretty bright. But look how garish it looks with the Fuji X Weekly yellow ambiance added to it. Ugh. And here's mine, and it's got a little bit of yellow, but it's Velvia. Okay, so as you can see, there's quite a bit of difference between the universal recipes and the straight out of camera, using the film simulations straight out of camera. They look pretty good. I kind of like the way my universal recipe is working out, and I've got it set as my custom setting number 7. So it works out great for me. I'm able to use any film simulation with it without any issue at all. It works great. I suggest you give it a try. Well, I hope you liked this episode on working with a universal film simulation recipe that rules them all, really, for all of these simulations on this dial here, and how you can go about doing that. It's interesting. Since the XT4 came out, there's something that had been bugging me for a long time, my XT3. I couldn't save a whole bunch of different things in the custom settings. I had to, my white balance had to be, for instance, the same for all of them. But now you can change anything in there and you can save them any way you want. So it made it so that I could bracket 3 different film simulations, which was kind of cool. And I could do that for each one of the custom settings. I could set it up so that I could get in there and, play with different film simulations with a different universal recipe or whatever recipe I wanted to. So, I was really excited about this. I think it came out kind of cool. And I discovered one thing. I really don't like overly warm film simulation recipes. So if you wouldn't mind, hey, give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. So if you wouldn't mind, check out some of the other videos I have on setting up your custom settings, which I did with the XS10 a while back now. But it's basically the same thing. So please remember, it's not what you photograph, it's how you photograph it, and we'll catch you next time.